With the WWE 2K24 first DLC pack being just around 40 days away from releasing, I figured this would be the best opportunity to try to maybe persuade you to either buy or not buy the game. Now that all of the initial hype for this game has worn off, and now it just really sits down the question of do people want to buy this game or not, I'm here to try to answer that question. Hello everybody, my name is JebDeb and welcome to my official review for WWE 2K24 to see if you want to buy this game or not. So first, we're going to be covering all the basic game modes you see on this menu here, and what I rank them. So first off, let's just get it out of the way. Showcase mode. Showcase mode is showcase mode. You just play through, I believe it was like 14 WrestleMania matches. 2 of those feature Brock Lesnar, by the way. Just wanted to let that be known. So despite the fact that Brock was in allegations by the time this game was released, his likeliness is still in the game. Some of the matches are cool, obviously, and unlock some pretty good rewards. Like you get The Fiend, you get George the Animal Steel if you're a Legends fan, Ricky Steamboat makes his return. But other than that, it's showcase mode. It's, the mode that you quickly just finish to try to get done as fast as possible. Now, if you have the 40 Years of WrestleMania edition of the game, you got the Showcase Skip pack, essentially, which allows you to skip showcase mode. However, you do not get any of the arenas if you do decide to get this pack. So you only get the superstars related to it. You don't get any of the WrestleMania, so you don't get WrestleMania 13 or 17 or 25. So, but if that's the case, all you have to do is just bare bones win the match. You don't got to do any of the objectives, and it'll give you the arena anyway. So that's showcase mode. It's whatever. Next up, My Faction. A little bit better than the previous installments of the game. My Faction has been more refined. With the addition now that most of your cards don't need contracts, because those have now switched over to the free agent cards. However, though, I'm still of the group that believes My Faction should never have been introduced into WWE in the first place. I feel like I get what they're going for. It's their real big moneymaker, but I feel like their real big moneymaker is probably just the rest of the game, not My Faction. It works for NBA, but not WWE, so it's not going away, but I'm still saying that for what it is, My Faction this year is probably the best. So, that's My Faction covered. Next up, My Rise. I haven't played the Unleashed story, but I have played the Undisputed story. And it's okay. It's not my favorite My Career or My Rise. If I had to rank them all, it would be 2K22, 2K20, 2K24, 23, 2K19. And the only reason I have 2K20 higher than 2K22 is because 2K20's story, albeit not a good one, it was actually quite terrible, at least it actually had one. And this one's not bad. It's literally just you winning the title on a fluke and you're doing your best to try to defend it. You don't actually get screwed over at all, believe it or not. A lot of these My Career modes, you always have at least 5 moments where you're just screwed over. This game, this My Rise, you're never screwed over, which is quite shocking. I don't know if it's the case for Unleashed, but I don't particularly care for Undisputed. Also, once again, I have to note, Brock Lesnar also makes an appearance, along with announcer voice lines and Titantrons. So maybe with all of this said and done, now that Brock's back on the active roster, maybe they'll have an update coming up for the first DLC that'll patch Brock back into the game. Not sure about Vince McMahon. Honestly, I don't really care if Vince is not in the game, but so be it. Universe mode. I really don't need to say anything else about Universe mode. You all know how Universe mode is. Still buggy, still glitchy, but at least now there is the option of, I guess, being able to have better rivalries, I think. I don't really remember what the big changes were to Universe mode, but it's Universe mode. It's buggy, it's glitchy, it's broken. Then we have my GM mode, which is probably the mode most people are going to be spending their time in content-wise. And my GM mode is quite fine. It's not my personal cup of tea. But with the new introduction of ECW and Teddy Long and all the other managers, and how the power cards were sort of reworked and changed, my GM is probably the best it'll be for the modern 2K formula. It will never be better than the previous My GM modes we had, but for what it is and what it's worth for the 2K franchise, this is probably going to be the best My GM going forward, unless 2K25 blows it out of the park, which I won't know. I won't be able to play WWE 2K25. And then obviously this brings us to the final game mode, Exhibition. So, let's go ahead and cover everything in sort of detail. Obviously, you have a lot of arenas, mostly WrestleMania arenas. I'm a little miffed about that, especially considering last game we got a bunch of SummerSlam arenas, and the game before that we just got a bunch of older arenas like Judgment Day and stuff, So obviously you get some good stuff. You do get a lot more NXT pay-per-views. Normally, the only NXT pay-per-views I believe you had in 2K23 were the NXT 2.0, and 2021 NXT. You had Great American Bash, and then you had Stand and Deliver and In Your House. So now you have actual more NXT pay-per-views, which is cool. I don't know why Mixed Match Challenge is still here. This pay-per-view hasn't been used since a fucking long time ago. They still have ECW in there, that's cool. Clash at the Castle, that's cool. And obviously you have your WrestleManias. WrestleMania 31 daytime is probably the best arena in the entire game. Incredible lighting. And while we're here, I do just want to make it a little funny thing here in universe mode real quick. If you're one to do a lot of custom show building, I'm sure you've noticed by now, but if we go to the transition, I'm pretty sure, they still have the day one transition, even though day one is not in the game at all. Nothing else. If we go to overlay design, and we go down, as you can see, there's no day one. So I just figured I wanted to point that out as a little funny thing. Day one's transition is still in the game, even though day one itself is not actually in the game. Also, I figure I'll mention it while I'm here. Also, Universe Mode doesn't have Hell in a Cell assigned by default. Just figured I'd let you know that as well. But, anyway. So, the actual new matches they've added in. Let's start with the gauntlet matches here. They're fun. I like these. Basically, there's difference. They have a classic gauntlet. It goes all the way up to 30-man. You see, this is basically just like an extra Royal Rumble, but instead of needing to knock someone over the top rope, you need to pin them or get them to tap out. Classic gauntlet. Gauntlet Eliminator. To begin, more enter until there's only one left. So, typical. I'm pretty sure with regular gauntlet they'll come in, but Eliminator you obviously have to eliminate them to come. And then Turmoil, this is essentially your slobber knocker. So you get one superstar. So for example, let's say it's a 4-superstar gauntlet Turmoil match here, and you set it up to be, I don't know, Hollywood Hogan against The Rock. Don't worry about it. Rock, Roman Reigns, and Solo Sikoa. So these three will come in at whatever order, and if at any point in time Hollywood Hogan is eliminated, he loses. So Hogan has to beat The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Solo Sikoa to win the match. If he loses at any point, the other team wins. And you can set up the rules to turn it into a slobber knocker match. So you can't leave the ring, and it's literally just, they keep piling in. So that's the gauntlet matches. They're fun. Probably one of the better of the matches. And also now, I need to mention it. If you do the tournament for the Dusty Classic, I think, I don't remember where you would even go about setting that up, but if you set up a tournament or whatever for the Dusty Rhodes Classic, you actually win the trophy this time. Now, going on to the big matches. First, casket matches. This is probably the game mode where you'll maybe play only a couple times, and that's only using Kane and Undertaker. Other than that, it's a fine game mode. It doesn't really have much going for it, admittedly. It's literally just a casket at ringside. Ambulance matches are kind of the same deal. This could be used if you're in like a sort of like universe simulation thing, like Gordon Perkins, or I forget the name of that YouTuber, but he commonly does like YouTube shorts about like booking ideas that are like 10 times better than anything Vince has ever come up with on a good day. This could be used for some sort of like extreme rivalry ender. However, once again, it's a pretty gimmicky match. And then obviously special guest referee. So this is really the best game mode they have ever added into any modern WWE game. And it's a strange thing that it took us this long to get special guest referee back in any WWE game. So let's say, for example, you want to have Diesel here face against his friend Shawn Michaels, and the special guest referee being, I don't know, Scott Steiner. Every superstar has the capability of being able to have a referee attire or an original attire, and this does go all the way to the extent of custom superstars. And you can also use managers as referees as well. And even though this is a men's match, you can include the addition of, I don't know why I'm here, you can include the addition of women. So if you really wanted to, you could have, you know, it's because I'm in the male category, that's why I'm stupid. You can have females referee male matches. So for example, we could have JC Jane be the special guest referee if we wanted to. And if you want to turn off the special guest referee setting, all you have to do, or meter, for others who don't know, the meter makes it act like the old 2K15 special guest referee, where if you goof off too much, you get replaced. You have to go here, turn off referee meter. You can't keep this option disabled, so every time you do special guest referee, you have to go in and disable the meter every time. This means that you'll be able to just dick around and never be replaced. And obviously, I do just want to go ahead and bring this feature up because this was recently added in. Before, there was a feature where the ring announcers were locked to certain arenas. Now you can choose between all of them. So you can choose Mike Rome, Alicia Taylor, Samantha Irvin, or you can just not have a ring announcer. And default will use whatever the default announcer is for that arena. So special guest referee is the best. You have two modes, basically. You have referee mode, that's when you do all your officiating and shit, and then you got wrestler mode, so you can switch back and forth between the two. You can do fast counts, you can call random rope breaks, despite them being nowhere near the ropes. And I believe if you have like a finish stored or something, and your opponent traps someone in a submission, you can call for a screw job. So you can recreate the Montreal screw job if you really wanted to. So, obviously, is this game, like, the best it's ever been? In terms of, like, content-wise and gameplay-wise and stuff, because all sorts of stuff now, like the ramp camera from the older games, the fact that blood starts dripping down on the floor and it stays there. And by the way, in order to do that, once your opponent is busted open, you just have to keep hitting them on the head, and eventually they'll start bleeding to the point it starts staining the floor and the mat. So, with all the improvements they've added, and the fact that they're probably going to add more, I'd say this is the best WWE game we've ever gotten of the modern era. And I'd say in terms of the best wrestling games of all time, this one might probably be like a strong 9, maybe even a 10. I don't see this being better than a lot of the other games like Day of Reckoning, No Mercy, Shut Your Mouth. But compared to some of the other wrestling games that have come out, this is quite good. It's still a 2K game, so obviously it's going to be fucking glitchy. Don't even try to acknowledge this game as, oh, maybe they won't be glitchy. Of course it is. They have to fucking make this shit year-round. There's going to be tons of glitches and bugs and shit. However, I feel like those glitches and bugs you kind of have to actively strive to find. Although, I feel like, then again, some people literally just get cursed copies of the game. But, personally, I would recommend only getting the deluxe edition of the game. Now, I do know that the 40 Years of WrestleMania exclusive content pack is up for $20, and you can get it because now they actually added all of the superstars associated with that pack. For all those who don't know, I have to try to remember what they added off the top of my head. They added... I need to go to all here. What am I doing? They have Charlotte Flair 17 here. They added Triple H from here. That might be cool, you know. They added the Macho King. They added Rey Mysterio here. And then they added Rhea Ripley from WrestleMania 36. The one thing I wish that would happen is that if you didn't have the DLC pack, it didn't show up as a superstar. Because it's always annoying because I'm sitting here trying to, like, find superstars and it's like, it shows me these two. I can't even buy this one because you can't even get the deluxe edition pack without actually buying the deluxe edition. So I wish that if you didn't have the DLC pack, it didn't show the superstars. I think that's just annoying. And also, I figured I might as well go ahead and bring this up. If you progress through the women's showcase mode and you side with The Miz, in around 2 hours or so, you can get the Zero, my faction card. Hopefully, they add more Persona cards into the game, be it from My Rise or just like alternate attires of other superstars. Like, they could add Persona cards of superstars that had, you know, other gimmicks. Like, maybe we could get, like, Cody Rhodes with that butt-ugly mustache or something through the use of Persona cards. Maybe, maybe not, but I would recommend getting the deluxe edition of the game because the 40 Years of WrestleMania pack, you only get those superstars I showed off, the My Faction cards associated with them, and you also only get the WrestleMania 40 arena, which if you buy the pack, you won't even be able to get until sometime after WrestleMania 40. They do not give us a date as to when it's coming out. It's only coming out sometime after WrestleMania 40. And honestly, I don't really see it worthy, at least with the previous game. You got 4 classic versions of Brock Lesnar, or you got 4 superstars, the classic versions of Brock Lesnar, Batista, Randy Orton, and John Cena. You got the John Cena Legacy Championship, and you got an arena. So you got a lot of stuff in there. This one, you literally only just get an arena and 5 other superstars. So I would recommend just getting the deluxe edition of the game. That will come with everything anyway. You get your season pass, you get your My Rise boost, you get your supercharger, so on and so forth. The only thing you don't get from the deluxe edition is the ability to skip showcase mode. But if you're like me, you blast through showcase mode in a day, and then you just go off and you make all your custom superstars, or you download them. It's whatever. So, final verdict. If you are looking to buy the game, get the deluxe edition. As far as I'm aware, it's $100 USD. I'm not sure how much it goes for in other countries, but that's probably the best version of the game to buy. I would stay away from the 40 Years of WrestleMania edition of the game because that's, for an extra $20, you're literally not getting anything. So just go for the $100, or just buy the standard edition and cherry pick your DLCs. So, which is, let's be honest, probably everything except the 3rd DLC pack. That's also a really good idea. So, personally, either buy the deluxe edition or buy the standard edition for $60 or $70, however much it is, and then just buy all the DLC packs that interest you. So probably, knowing you, that'd be DLC Pack 1, 2, 4, and 5. So, there's my final verdict. I think this has been the best WWE game of the modern era. Number 9, at least, in best wrestling game of all time. Or WWE game of all time, not all time. And this has potential to keep going great if they keep adding in, because I know every day before the DLC drops, they add in a big update that adds in shit. Hopefully, these updates typically tend to do something big, really make it big this time. Because this is going to be the last WWE game that a lot of people like me are going to be able to play, the people on the PS4. Because I have a feeling going forth, there's not going to be any more games released for the PS5 and PS4. So, as far as I'm aware, this is the last WWE game on the last gen. Not like that matters. Almost everyone and their granddad nowadays has a PS5 or something. But, just throw that out there. So thank you all for watching. If you are interested in seeing more, subscribe to the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload. It's free. You can change mine later on whenever you want, free of charge as well. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!